So I'd like to start this series discussing women of art with Margaret and Frances MacDonald. I will be working on a rendering of one of Frances's pieces called Spring while I discuss who these ladies were and what they accomplished, which was quite a lot. So, Margaret and Frances MacDonald were sisters, born 10 years apart in 1864 and 1873, respectively. These revolutionary ladies attended art school, owned their own business, and helped start an art movement at a time when women were only expected to marry, have children, and maybe a hobby if they were lucky. So, while attending Glasgow School of Art, they were introduced to Charles Mackintosh and Herbert McNair. Now, there's no reference for an exact time that they met, but there's an assumption that the headmaster of the school, Francis Newberry, made the introductions. The parallels in style between the work of the four people would have definitely caught the headmaster's attention. Their first showing was at a student exhibition in 1894. This initial presentation got very mixed reviews. The elongated human forms the sisters used disturbed much of their audience. At this point, locals began calling them the Glasgow Four. In 1896, Margaret and Frances, independently from the boys, opened the MacDonald Sisters Studio at 128 Hope Street. Here, inspired by poetry, Celtic myth, and a little Aubrey Beardsley, they created dozens of collaborative works. The illustrating of William Morris's Defense of Guinevere and the completion of one of their most renowned original series, The Four Seasons, happened at this time. They also created amazing textile art, and they did metalworking at a time when it would have been truly novel practice for a woman to be doing any kind of metalworking. They had exhibits all over Europe and became famous for their new style. Between the time they graduated and the time that they got married, they generated an extensive body of work together, using a wide range of materials. Nearly all of their efforts to this point hold the signatures of both ladies. After Frances married Herbert McNair in 1899, she went with him to Liverpool. Herbert and Frances combined forces to turn their home at 54 Oxford Street into a showcase for their interior designs. After they completed the writing room and displayed it at the International Exhibition of Modern Art in Turin, they had many more exhibits across Western Europe. They both ended up working at the School of Architecture and Applied Art in Liverpool. Sadly, the school closed in 1905. Following this, their careers took a hard hit when business failure depleted the McNair. Oh, listen to me. I'll leave that in there. McNair family's modest wealth. In 1909, they returned to Glasgow, where Frances focused on art representing the challenges facing women at the time, marriage, pregnancy, and childcare at the top of the list. Unfortunately, after her death on December 12th, 1921, McNair began an eradication binge on her artwork. That, combined with her years away from Glasgow, made her the lesser known of the two sisters. Some of her creations can be found at the Hunterian Museum and Art Gallery, and a few in the Walker Art Gallery in Liverpool. A year after Frances married and headed to Liverpool, Margaret married Charles Mackintosh. So the four really did stay together, except split up. Margaret and Charles created a collection of joint pieces as well. Charles was of the opinion that Margaret was a genius, and he, quote, only talented. He also said, "You are half, if not three-quarters, in all of my architectural work." So while being virtually unknown now, artists of her own time respected and were inspired by Margaret. Among those artists was Gustav Klimt and Joseph Hoffman. They are relatively famous in the Art Nouveau. If you want to know more about them, let me know. I can always do another video. In 1902, Margaret created the three-piece series that would eventually become some of her most prized work. The sizable trio consists of Opera of the Winds, Opera of the Seas, and The Seven Princesses. The May Queen and the Wassail also come in at the top of the list of her prized accomplishments. Margaret's works are still on display in museums around the world. And I'm of the opinion that the works of these women, unique, unusual, beautiful depictions of some very simple yet affecting subjects, I think that these are going to be around for a long time to haunt and inspire and just amaze people. At least I hope so. So I hope you enjoyed this. I will leave you to the rest of the painting and play a little music so you don't have to listen to me anymore. Oh, and you know the drill. If you liked it, do all those fun things YouTubers babble, and comment down below if there's a female artist that you really are interested in and that you don't know much about, and I will do the research.